Hi, everybody. Let me tell you a new story today. Today's story is a real case that happened in Yangcheng Lake. This lake is very, very famous in China because it produces the very delicious freshwater crabs. But today, we're not going to talk about delicious food. On May 19th, 2015, Mr. Ding, who was working at the construction site near Yangcheng Lake in Suzhou, got up early in the morning and went for a walk by the lake after eating. The weather was very good, clear and cloudless, with a gentle breeze. He was in a good mood too. Suddenly, he noticed that there seemed to be a person floating in the water. Oops, did someone fall into the water? He walked closer to take a look immediately. Damn, it turned out that there was a naked female corpse floating on the water, and something seems to be condensed on the face of the female corpse. Seeing this horrifying scene, Ding called the police quickly. Suzhou police rushed to the scene immediately, sealed off the nearby water, recovered the female body, and conducted an autopsy. There were multiple wounds on the female body, which were obviously not caused by suicide and could be judged to be homicide. Also, what was the thing that Ding saw condensed on her face? It is called corpse wax. Her face, arms, legs, and the whole body of this female corpse were all covered in corpse wax. It was difficult to restore the appearance of the lady. So what is a corpse wax? If a body stays near water for a long time after death, or is kept in an airtight and very humid place for a long time, the body will decompose much slower than normal. After 3 to 6 months, the fat and the skin of the body will decompose. Fatty acids, glycerin, and proteins in a corpse decompose substances like ammonia, which form fatty amino acids with fatty acids, and then combine with calcium ions and magnesium ions in water to form this off-white wax-like substance that binds the entire or part of the body. This is called corpse wax. Oh my god, I hate these professional words. The female body that was taken out of Yangcheng Lake has formed a corpse wax, which means that the body has been soaked in water for a long time. The forensic doctor concluded that the person died more than 6 months ago. So why does the body float again? Because in the water, the corpse will undergo various changes due to the presence of microorganisms. Various gases will be produced in the body cavity of the corpse. When there are more and more gases, the corpse will slowly float to the surface of the water. This is definitely not the first scene of the crime. And the place where the body was found is not far from the very busy National Way 302 and the Shanghai to Nanjing Highway. It is difficult to confirm the source of the body. What should the police do? What else they can do right now? Facing with this very difficult situation, the police chose to start their investigation from the water where the body was found. So how to check? By consulting experts from Water Conservancy Department. The police measured the flow direction and velocity of the water, particularly in the area where the body was found. After measurement, the police found that the flow rate of the flat water in this place is basically zero, and the flow rate only increases during the flood season. According to the watermarks records, the flood season in Suzhou is generally from May to September. Yeah, especially in summer. The forensic doctor determined that the lady had been dead for about half a year and she was found on May 19th. So the time when the lady entered the water was probably at the end of 2014, which was not the flood season. What does this mean? It means that the naked female body was dumped and sank into the water nearby, but this could not confirm the identity of the lady. She did not have any clothes or anything else to prove her identity. The police carried out a detailed salvage operation in this area of water, and at the same time, the forensic doctor found something on the female body, a sterilization ring. Based on this small clue, Suzhou police consulted the relevant hospitals and authorities and learned that this sterilization ring found in the lady's body was provided free of charge by the state. So where was it produced? In Qingdao, Shandong province. But this ring is available all over the country. But one thing is very important. Suzhou stopped using this kind of thing a few years ago, and it has been eliminated. This clue is very important. The police can determine that, number one, she should be someone else's wife. And number two, it is likely that this woman is from other places and not a local in Suzhou. However, knowing these clues is still of no particular use. Suzhou's local industry is developed, and here is a large population of outsiders. And there are also many people who are married and have children and have taken this kind of sterilization surgery. Without accurate directions, it is still difficult to determine the identity of the lady. At this time, good news came from the salvage team. A woman's black bag was found in the water more than 10 meters where the body was found. The bag contained a mobile phone, a wallet, and a brake, which helped the bag sink into the bottom of the water. The phone had been soaked in water for a long time and had already been damaged, but the SIM card was not completely damaged. The police found the telecommunications department and found this number and the phone numbers used to make and receive calls from this number. The mobile phone number belonged to a person named Zhang. The police called Zhang. Zhang felt strange when she received the call from the police. The police asked, "Is this bag yours?" Zhang replied, "Yes. It was lost 3 or 4 months ago. I met a friend and was sitting on the roadside chatting with him. I forgot to take it when I left. By the time I remembered to go back and look for it, it has gone." After verification by the police, it was confirmed that Zhang had nothing to do with the case. This clue was useless then. It is possible that someone else picked up the bag, took the cash inside, and threw the other items into the water. Police checked the national DNA databases and found no records. What should they do next? Checking missing person records. That is a huge workload, but the police still invested a lot of people in this task. After lots of work, they finally found a piece of information. The police received a missing person report in January 2015. The reporter's surname was Hu from Jiangxi province. Hu reported to police that in 2014 his wife, Yu, came to Jiangsu to work. But he could not contact her after more than a month, and she was here in Suzhou. So he came to Suzhou to look for his wife, but could not find her for several days. So he made a call to Suzhou police. Based on Hu's description of his wife, then he called the police. The police found that the dead body was very similar to Hu's wife, Yu. So the police sent officers to Jiangxi to extract the DNA of Yu's parents. After comparing it with the DNA of the corpse, they found that the victim was Yu. Finally, the police knew who the lady is. Then they could trace the social relationship of her to find the murderer. Through investigation, the police learned that this woman worked in an electronics factory in Suzhou before she was killed. She was very honest and had a very good temper. Well, she was also very common, very ordinary female worker. The relationship with her colleagues were also very harmonious. She had no enemies or bad habits. Her social relationship was also very simple. She usually went to work on time but did not have much entertainment after work. Why was such an ordinary person killed and abandoned? This was very strange. So the police continued to investigate and found out that in October 2014, Yu resigned from her original company because she was not satisfied with her income, and then interviewed with HR from another company. She passed the interview, but did not come to work. Then she must have been killed during this time. So where was she living at that time? Through the investigation of colleagues who were familiar with her, the police found the room she rented. The police sent people to carry out a house inspection immediately. However, when the police arrived, they found that the house had been taken back by the landlord and had been renovated. The police talked to the landlord and learned about the situation. The landlord said, "I rented this apartment to a person named Tom. As a result, he transformed it into 6 small rooms and rented them to 6 people. It was a mess. So I took it back and renovated it to live in." The police found Tang. Tang said that Yu had indeed rented a room from him. At that time, she lived in the middle room on the north side. The police asked, "When did you move out?" Tang said, "I don't know that. In November, the landlord found out that I had renovated the apartment and said he wanted to take it back and told us to move out quickly. I had no choice but to ask the tenants to move. When it came to take over the house at the end of November, I found that she has moved away, and I haven't seen her in person. So far, all doubts have pointed to the room where you lived. However, the landlord has renovated the whole apartment, and the original small rooms is now a dining room. Could the police find out any evidence? I'm afraid it would be very difficult." The police continued to investigate the landlord. "Where are all the original furniture in the apartment?" The landlord recalled carefully and said, "The furniture was all in tatters and had been thrown away long ago. But the mattresses of 2 beds were still in the garage. But I don't remember which mattress is hers." The police found the 2 mattresses. There were no clues through visual inspection. But the police did not give up. They used luminol reagent for blood stain detection. Blood stains, invisible to the naked eyes, will show a blue fluorescence reaction in the presence of this luminol. The police forensic doctor conducted a test. There was no reaction on the first bed, but 5 bloodstains were found on the second bed. 3 of the bloodstains matched Yu's DNA, yes, the victim's DNA, while the remaining 2 belonged to another person. Whose blood? Why did his or her blood appear on Yu's bed? Who is this guy? The police continue to search for everyone who lived in this apartment before. Sure enough, a man surnamed Gao, who lived next door, attracted the attention of the police. Gao's current whereabouts are unknown. He was lazy and liked to eat, drink, and have fun in his room every day. He had no formal job and liked to find people to borrow money. The police could not find Gao, but found his ex-girlfriend. According to the woman's reaction, the situation was as follows. Number 1. At the end of 2014, she found that Gao had been injured on his hand, and the wound was very deep. Number 2. In January 2014, Gao gave his ex-girlfriend a bus card. It turned out that the bus card had been used by someone for a long time. The police asked, "Is this bus card still there?" The lady said yes. The police checked the swiping information of this card through the bus company and found that the swiping locations of the bus card were located near the electronics factory where the victim Yu worked and the room where she rented, which was very similar to the daily commuting track of Yu. If it matches, then this bus card was probably used by Yu before she was killed. Gao's ex-girlfriend got this bus card from Gao, and Gao was highly suspected of committing the crime. Moreover, the police found by checking the police database that Gao had a criminal record before and had spent 3 years in prison for robbery and theft. There was his DNA data in the police DNA database, and it was compared with the 2 other bloodstains on the mattress, and they matched. The murderer is Gao. On May 30th, 2015, the 11th day after the Yangcheng Lake female body was discovered, the suspect Gao was captured by the police in a rental room, and the police found Yu's ID card, backpack, bedding, and other personal belongings in his room. After interrogation, Gao confessed that he killed Yu half a year ago and used a suitcase to transport the body to Yangcheng Lake and sank it into the bottom of the lake. The police asked, "Why did you kill Yu?" Gao said, "I'm not familiar with her, and I don't have any hatred to her. I'm not seeking money. On the day of the incident, I was staying in my room listening to music, and suddenly someone knocked on my door. It was the female neighbor next door. She scolded me, saying that my music was too loud and that it disturbed her. She scolded me in a very unpleasant way, and also scolded my family. So I became anxious and took out a knife to scare her. I said, 'If you scolded me again, I will kill you.' But she wasn't afraid, and then she scolded me again. So I killed her. A very regrettable thing happened. Gao not only killed someone, but also dumped the body and took possession of the victim's finances. The man was severely punished by the law subsequently. Later, a TV reporter also interviewed the victim's husband, who, when the husband heard the news that his wife had been killed, he burst into tears. He said that after he found out that his wife was missing, he was particularly worried. He came to Suzhou many times to look for her, and visited almost all the places where his wife had worked and lived, but found nothing. After reporting her missing to the police, he never gave up hope, but he never thought that his wife would be killed. When the police told him Gao's motive for the murder, he did not believe it at all. He said, "My wife is a very gentle person. How could she scold him? Scold his family? That is impossible. The murderer is lying." From the discovery of the body on May 19th, 2015, to the arrest of the suspect on May 30th, 2015, there were a total of 11 days. During the period, many twists and turns were experienced. Clues were dropped and back again. But the police did not give it up and found out the murderer through lots of hard work. This innocent female victim was killed and her body was buried at the bottom of Yangcheng Lake for half a year. After she was found, her body was covered with corpse wax, which makes people terribly scared just thinking about it. This murderer killed people and dumped their body because of a few quarrels. The cruelty of his killing methods is unbelievable. The victim was almost unrecognizable, but the murderer was arrested in 11 days after she was found floating in the lake. What does it mean? In addition to the fact that good and evil are rewarded, today's forensic and criminal investigation technology is very advanced. But it is even more inseparable from the hard work of the police personnel. We should pay our respects to them. May the dead rest in peace, and the living be strong. So everybody, that's the end of the story. Please share what you think of the story and your stories. Thank you, everybody. This is Alex's Story Time on I Am Alex. I got a lot of stories to share with you guys. See you next time.